A lot has happened this week as Gen Z have taken to the streets in large numbers, raising their voices against the myriad issues affecting our country. On Tuesday, Gen Z led the charge across our nation, voicing their frustrations and demands through streets protest. The youth are not backing down, even though President Ruto hit the brakes on the controversial finance bill. So, the question is, what's fueling this persistent wave of protests across our nation, even though the government promises a national dialogue on matters aired by Gen Z? Here is my take. At the heart of it, many feel the delay of finance bill, assent by the president, is merely a temporary reprieve and not a real solution. The younger generation, burdened by lack of employment, rising costs of living, and a lack of economic opportunities, sees the finance bill, its proposed taxes, as just another obstacle in their pursuit for a better future. They are calling for more changes and immediate action to address their pressing concerns. Moreover, there is a trust gap between the government and the youth. Many demonstrators view the finance bill delayed assent as a strategic move rather than a genuine attempt to engage with their grievances. This sentiment has only strengthened their resolve to remain vocal and visible in the streets. As if the economic frustrations weren't enough, a recent scandal has added fuel to the fire. According to a report from the Office of the Auditor General, more than 560 metric tons of donated fertilizer from Russia have pulled a vanishing act on the high seas. Kenya was supposed to receive 34,400 tons of raw fertilizer, but only 33,835 tons made it to our shores. The remaining 560 nowhere to be found at the port of Mombasa despite allegedly leaving Russia in good order. This isn't just a drop in the bucket. It's a full-blown fertilizer fiasco. It is estimated that the 560 tons of raw fertilizer that we went MIA, it could have been converted into ready-to-use fertilizer worth a whopping 197 million Kenyan shillings. That's a lot of green gone missing. This scandal sprouts at a particularly turbulent time. Our nation is already in the midst of protests against corruption, the excessive use of public resources by the government, and the lavish lifestyles of our politicians. It's a tough pill to swallow, or should I say, a tough bag of fertilizer to misplace. So, what should President Ruto do to sort out the grievances of the youth? Well, for starters, he could 1. Return people's confidence in the government's fight against corruption. Let's face it, the only thing worse than losing your Wi-Fi signal is losing trust in your leaders. A crackdown on corruption would go a long way in restoring faith. Every day we hear corruption in our government institutions. Recently, it's millions lost to typing error. The real question is, how can you lose that amount of money, and to add salt to the wounds, it's some silly excuse of typing error to accountability or mention of anyone involved. Or you hear our parents' hard-earned money getting stolen in the name of scholarship to some politicians, or an air ticket costing a fortune, same amount that can feed an entire village for decades. All these invokes anger to the citizens. 2. Reduce public spending on travel and other unimportant expenses. Less jet setting for politicians, more jet setting for the economy. Time to trim those travel budgets and prioritize what's really needed. 3. Create employment opportunities for the youth here in Kenya. The job market feels like a game of musical chairs, and too many young people are left standing. More jobs mean fewer protests and happier citizens. 4. Sort out the issue of political opulence. Nothing says out of touch like excessive luxury while the average citizen struggles. Scaling back the extravagance would show the youth that their leaders are in this together with them. In essence, the president's pause on the finance bill hasn't planted seeds of hope, but rather sowed seeds of doubt. The youth are determined to keep their voices heard, pushing for a Kenya where their future isn't just a promise but a reality. Stay tuned as we continue to follow these developments. I'm Kenyan Perspective, bringing you the news that matters. If you like this videos and want to see more of my content, subscribe and like the video. Thank you.